This is the comic Return of the Black Panther. Return of the Black Panther. This is the regular cover. This is the variant cover. And this is the other variant cover, which I don't really like his eyes. They're not really focused right where they're supposed to be focused. But that's okay. We cut the music out. But there are more variant covers. Look at this Black Panther variant cover. I just went all out because it's the Return of the Black Panther. And I support what I like. And this is a character who should not die. Hashtag RecastTChalla. Just because an actor who used to portray him. Another variant cover. You thought I was done with the variant covers, didn't you? Nope. I gotta get that Scotty Young. Scotty does know how to draw these variants. He really didn't even try that hard. Look how much background is just black. Most of it is just the Black Panther logo. Smart man, that Scotty Young. He got paid so much money for that. Was that the last variant? That's the last variant I have. I'm sure there's virgin variants and special variants. This is the reboot of the Black Panther. Oh, let me get the actual. This is the one I opened and read. John Ridley is doing this comic book. He's a guy with movie credentials, and this book read like a movie book. The artist is Iban. It's Juann Cabal, and Federico Blee does the colors. Go on my channel, look at the search bar under Chillmonger, and search Federico Blee bad comic book art, and you will find 0 videos because he does not disappoint. You thought I was going somewhere else with that, didn't you? The book opens with just a black screen, and he's just talking about gotta get right to business, and I don't want to waste any of your guys' time. That's my thing. I say that. And by talking about how no hesitating, no holding back. So let's just get right to it. When you say that, you're actually prolonging it. It's like saying, without further ado, that is a Jew literally causing a Jew. It's going to be that kind of comic book review. The next thing is this page, which is an advertisement. If you read the digital version, you would not have seen this. But for me, brand new comic, no idea what the art style is going to be like. I just go from this page to this page, and what the hell? I was so confused. I didn't know it was just an ad. It does say something like April 21st Earth. I guess it's a film that's coming on April 21st, whatever. We get cooking. And it is, as soon as I saw this, Doctor Strange, Thor, everyone was on the cover, Captain America. And you go, oh yeah, they're not, no longer are we pretending he's not on the Avengers. This is just welcome back. It sounds like there's some sort of directive that came from Marvel that said, listen, we got to make it seem like this guy's really avenging and he's the leader of them. We can't ignore it anymore. Right away, he's leading people, telling them how to fight. And the fight goes the way that you would think it would go. The Thor and Captain America do their thing where he crashes the hammer into the shield and it blows everyone away. We opened a portal. There's a couple of things here, language-wise, that I wouldn't hear T'Challa's voice saying, like, there's always a portal, guys. And he told Doctor Strange later on, like, run diagnostics about mental and physical, any type of test. He's like, just run all the tests. I don't really hear that being said in Black Panther's voice. Yeah, there's just ways that you're gonna speak, and he's not the only one who is a victim of this sort of poor scripting, in my opinion. He does say something. Avengers Engage, which traditionally it's Avengers Assemble. But to start off with Avengers Engage, it shows like there's not a need to be beholden to tradition. However, you're not also shitting on lore. It is Black Pantherizing, Wakandanizing the Avengers Assemble type thing. This is how he would say it. He'd say to engage, which does make more sense. And you're probably already assembled if you're going. So it just makes sense to me. And we as comic book reading fans, we have this like strong desire for you guys to stick to the canon. You better not play around and make this character go out of character. That's okay with me. This part here, Avengers Engage. I'm cool. Okay. Now we go to Steve Rogers speaking to T'Challa. And basically he's saying, yo, Ta-Nehisi Coates, this was what you were like for the last 3 years of Marvel, but you're not going to be like that anymore. And John Ridley says, no, I'm not going to be like that. You have a commitment from me. And that was nice to hear. And I actually thought it meant something, but he's going to go back on his words. He's going to go back on his handshake only because he has to. And Steve is like, man, he called him Steven, didn't he? Yeah, I like when T'Challa calls him Steven. That is consistent with this character. The handshake was for nothing because we cut over here. And you know what's been happening in Wakanda? They went ahead and got a prime minister, Fola Shade. It might be how you pronounce the name. And bro, look at the look that Akili has because she asked for his opinion on something, and he's like, "I would dictate." Oh, we're not looking for something that you would dictate. Actually, we want your perspective. And he's like, "Yeah, my perspective is you guys chit chat a little bit longer, take a break for lunch." And I love the T'Challa just kind of scoffs at the system, this new democracy where they're talking about mandated family leave, a commission to study the effects of the tax holiday, the infrastructure spending bill. That's on the nose, isn't it? Don't you Americans have that infrastructure thing? Isn't that what Joe Manchin was holding up? That thing? You Americans? So that happened all in here. And T'Challa's just he's eye rolling over the slow process. He's still, I guess, the king, and so he still is the emperor, but he can be talked down to kind of. Except when he starts leaving and he's talking to Akili, who's from the Hatut Zarazi. Akili says to him that I would never assume to lecture my king, only to have a conversation on diplomacy. So someone respects the crown in here. I guess he's not going to forget it, but it's the new prime minister who sort of not disrespects, but also she's not worshiping at his feet. It's almost like you made me the prime minister, right? Allow me to minister, which is I'm not mad at her for that. But the system of democracy, perceived democracy, where you think that you're actually free, that kind of gets that's on the radar, on the microscope right here. I'm not mad at that. They're gonna bring it back up later. Now we fly over to Chile where everything was good. They're talking about cheating. They're talking about how we're gonna go soak the seats, and then blam to the waiter. He wasn't even doing anything. Look how innocent he is on this page. Okay, and now watch how it just the head gets blown off. So initially, I go, This is bad. This is poor writing." Because if these guys are some sort of snipers that are impressive and whatnot, then you should have just went and got your kill. You shouldn't have shot the guy next to you. You just wanted to have a chase scene. But later on, it's going to be said by the characters who are getting chased. What's happening is they're putting us in a box. Okay, they're not shooters. They're targeting us because when they get into hand-to-hand combat, they're gonna be there. That's their goal. I like 48 small boxes of artwork up there, which finally gets to the two people who are fighting. One of them name was JHAI. How do you pronounce that? Deceased, because he's gonna lose this battle and die. The next woman, what's her name? Amola Lomalala. Her, Alola Mola. She's gonna be someone that we're gonna, I guess, be a mainstay here. So brand new character. That makes this a collectible comic book, especially if you got those variant covers. You might have a little bit if they do a film with this character or something somewhere down the road. You got a valuable comic on your hands. Congratulations. The fight happens, and she's gonna call T'Challa. Listen, Jai died. He said he's sorry, and you have to tell T'Challa that they know. We cut over to T'Challa. Let me see that body. He doesn't want to have fun. He wants to go straight to the morgue, the this area here. And he confirms it for himself. Why? Because that's T'Challa. That's the return of the Black Panther. That's the guy I know. Okay, he's not just gonna take your word for it. He's gonna understand. Okay, so there are these 10 different, I guess, agents, sleeper agents, similar to the movies. If you saw the movies and you're going right into this comic book, you're up to speed basically because you knew what Nakia was basically. That was her role. They had these sleeper agents all over. I think Killmonger in the movie said during the throne, he's like, "We have all of these guys. We're gonna arm them with our weapons because we have sleeper agents out there." That was said in the movie, something similar to that. So it was very like, "Oh, you watched the movie, you know enough about Wakanda to get right into this comic book." John Ridley, he's a movie guy. I told you. So this was the exact comic that we needed in February of 2018, rather than 25 issues of Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda. I couldn't get into that. I didn't read all 25 of those issues. Neither did Flash by Night, who is a YouTuber who I'm going to try to have on my Burning Question stream that I'm doing on Saturdays at 1 p.m. I've already had him on once. I'll try to have him on again. But we got into comic books around the same time, around that Black Panther movie, and we turned to the Black Panther comic and we go, huh? This was the comic that we needed. So now it gets to Shuri and it gets to T'Challa. Here's where Shuri doesn't sound much like Shuri to me. She puts up a protective, soundproof vibranium bubble, which was really cool. But then she starts asking him questions like, "Okay, so Jahi didn't die in that boating accident. Wait, T'Challa, you don't trust anyone? You have trust issues? You should know that already, Shuri. Come on now, it's your brother." And then she says something like, he says, "Shuri, I may have agreed to open Wakanda to the world, but I never trusted that the world would accept Wakanda. Smart king, good job. Democracies are lionized, but the reality is they're dangerous. Their leadership transitory, their foundations tenuous. Stable nations require singular leaders." And she says to this man, gets out of that chair, "You mean dictators?" Listeners of this broadcast, if someone is a dictator, the act of dictating, not necessarily a bad thing. You may be dictating peace, right? Potentially. Of course, there are how many how many world leaders right now do we wish was a dictator? Zero, of course. But if you are a good person, you have empathy for poor people and all that stuff, and you're not bought off by greed, you don't have skeletons in your closet that people can, put you in jail for because you're not a politician. They're all like that, okay? Except Bernie Sanders, he's the good one, guys. You should have voted for him in 2016 and 2020, if you Americans. So you mean dictators? This is a superhero. I don't mind my super T'Challa being a dictator of Wakanda. I really, he's a great human being. He's a smart guy who he has an appreciation or an understanding of a life of sacrifice, of fighting, war, violence. So he's gonna do these peaceful choices. He's laid down his life countless numbers of times. We are almost at issue 200. We are at Legacy issue 198 of Black Panther. There have been 198 comics of this guy fighting the good fight. I don't mind if he's a dictator. I'm sorry. And everything he said about lionizing and look at the way democracy. Yeah, yes, guys, it's fine that he said that. Shuri, shut up. And she's like, "Oh, so you faked the deaths of 10 brothers and sisters who sent them out into the world to just what? Wait until you tell them to assassinate people? Is he gonna tell you to assassinate a good guy? No, T'Challa's not gonna do that. And plus, since they're waiting, it kind of shows you that he isn't blood hungry and he's like, "Oh, you gotta do a kill every like a vampire." He's not that way. T'Challa did nothing wrong here, guys. He's opening Wakanda to the world, but the rest of the world is the way that they are, clearly, and he is allowing for a defense. That's all. Got just 10 people out and about. Probably more than 10. He's probably lying to her right there. I hope he is. But that's when we get back to the Steve Rogers holographic thing, and he's kind of disappointed. T'Challa says, "Hey, I wouldn't go back on my word if it didn't mean anything." He goes, "Yeah, listen, you have our trust." Steve says this. "You always do. I just wish we had a little more of your commitment. Do what you have to do. I'll tell the others Rogers out." I guess for this little 6-issue run, we're not going to be seeing much of the Avengers, but they're at least explaining it, which is a whole lot better than we got in the Tiny Easy Coats final 25 issues that rebooted in 2018 at the same month that T'Challa becomes the leader of the Avengers in 2018. And then Jason Aaron just completely ignores that. I was telling myself that all this intergalactic empire Wakanda stuff happens before the Jason Aaron comic of Avengers. That's what I used to tell myself. Now I don't have to. Now I can understand why he's going to be away from the group. And that's fine. T'Challa goes to, where is it now? Moscow. They're going to meet up with another one of their agents, and it's Amola Lola who's been stalking him. She's going against orders, but they're going to say, they're going to find an agreement, and she is going to be part of the team now. And it kind of ends with, "Am I ready?" Where they kind of call the shots, and they're showing us that we're going to have Storm featured pretty soon. We're also going to have all of the Avengers, where is it here? The Dora Milaje are going to be turned on the Black Panther. Is the Prime Minister someone who's evil? Is the Prime Minister going to, girl power, guys? He's being oppressive. Is that what's going to happen? They're going to turn? I don't know. But and then there's Captain America having a beef with T'Challa. What the hell is that going to be all about? I don't like seeing Captain America fight my favorites. I hated Avengers versus X-Men because I wasn't cheering for you, Captain America. I was cheering for Scott on that beach. He was Cyclops was right, guys. So what they're calling, let me bring you to Avengers issue maybe 700. Jason 600. 600. Jason Aaron showed a page of what's going to happen in the Shi'ar Empire, which we covered. But he showed like another page of what's happening with Namor, what's going to happen with the Star Brand. He called his shot and he said, "This is what the next 5 years of Avengers will look like," and we're getting that. This is only one page. Jason Aaron's had way more pages. Is this going to be a 12-issue run? Because I feel like you can solve all of these. You can get to the beef between T'Challa and Cap. You can get between the Dora Milaje turning on Black Panther. That looks like just one fight. You can do all of these things within 12 issues. And I hope that this series doesn't get canceled. Folks, pick up this book, support it, because this is what we want. This is the greatest black superhero in comic books, Marvel or DC or otherwise. Excuse me. Um, we got to go all out for this. This is what we want. We don't want the recasts, or I mean, excuse me, the reskinning, or when they do a legacy character where they say someone else gets to be Black Panther now. I know I never liked those things. So now I have an opportunity to pay money to see a story, an original story. It's not a time travel story or space story that really doesn't affect anything. This feels like it happens in Marvel 616. I'm an advocate for this book. I was cheering for it before I got to read it. I'm happy that I got to read it and see the beautiful artwork here. This was very art friendly, coming from John Ridley. Yes, I'm giving him a compliment. I'm giving the writer a compliment for letting the art just do its thing. Donny Cates is another great artist for that. If you guys read the Hulk issue that came out this week also, which is somewhere here, this comic book, this was pretty nice where you kind of just got to see all the Hulk smash that you wanted. So similar to that, Iban, what's the writer's name? Juann Cabal is the name of the artist. And like I said, Federico Blee's the man. You can always collect the Alex Ross covers. So I'm done pitching the book. You guys should be picking it up. How do we feel about this? I'm in a great mood that I got that comic book. I got my T'Challa itch scratched, and I'm pretty satisfied. I'm happy for this run. I'm cheering for the run. You guys can make it here every single week. Should be a Wednesday that I do these, but then Hawkeye's going to be happening, and I don't want to do it. So sometime on Thursday or Friday or Saturday, you'll get a Black Panther review the week that it releases. God willing, that's the plan here. We're gonna throw Black Panther parties every single week. Stick to Chill Manga. That's the name of the channel. And join me on Saturdays for that 33 burning MCU question stream. I took a couple of notes. What do I got here? I literally talked about everything that I took a note on. That's how it's done. Peace out, everyone.